What is up, Gato Squad? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elias, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. So today I'm doing a video that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and the reason I haven't done it yet is because I really wanted to get to know the car a lot more, and I've owned it for about a month now, and I've driven it for about 2,500 miles, so I feel like I've gotten to know the car pretty well now to be able to do this video. So we're doing the 8 things I love about my Honda Civic Type R. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So we're going to start out with the looks. I love the way this car looks. This car looks awesome, in my opinion. And I'm sure I'm going to get some negative comments on my video, because all over the internet you see people complaining about the way the Type R looks. You know, it looks too childish, it looks terrible, it's too much. And for some people, yeah, I'm sure it is too much, but I think let's just all agree that we should be happy that Honda actually got the guts to come out with such a crazy design for their Type R. They actually made it stand out from the crowd, which is something really, really cool about the car. I mean, they could have gone with something really boring. They could have gone with, you know, the Golf R type of look, and some people really like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that at all, to be a stealthy, sporty car. But I'm really glad that Honda went the bold direction, because I think the look of the car really fits with the personality of it. So let's go ahead and start and take a look. There at the track, this car does incredibly well. That's basically why I love this car so much. It just does so well at performance driving. So you saw the engine power is insanely good. It gets up to 130 miles an hour pretty easily on the straights. Really can't complain much about that. Now, the next thing I love about the car is the transmission. The transmission in this car is really, really good, and you know, it wouldn't be a Type R without an excellent transmission. So what makes this transmission really good is it's a very close ratio. So right now I'm in sport mode, 3rd gear. That sounds really good. I don't know if you guys heard the blow-off valve as well, but that's just an awesome sounding engine, and the transmission makes it that much better. So the shift of the transmission is so good. So going from 1st to 2nd, 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th, it's just stick, snick, snick, snick. It's a perfect transmission to accompany this amazing engine. Now, there's one little caveat there. I do have an issue with my transmission. It is crunching from 1st to 2nd every once in a while, and sometimes from 5th to 4th it locks me out. That's like right now, actually. It just did it right now. So it sometimes happens, and it's something that we gotta get fixed, but I think as soon as Honda fixes it, this is gonna be one of the top transmissions that Honda's ever brought to the US. Another thing I love about the transmission and the way it's designed is how close the steering wheel is to the gear shift lever. I mean, looking at how close they are, you just know that it's made for quick shift right back on the steering wheel. Quick shift right back on the steering wheel. It's exactly what you need on a track-focused car. So speaking of track-focused cars, this car, you know, is track focused because of the brakes. Now they do make quite a bit of noise sometimes. They squeak, they squeal, they rub, and you know, they're pretty loud brakes for people that are not used to track focused track pads, but for what they do, they are incredibly good, incredibly good. I mean, you panic stop in this all day long, and from what I've seen, they don't get hot. I have to learn to actually trust them more on the track, as I was actually taking it a little bit too easy on them. You know, I was used to regular brakes on the Civic Sport hatch that I used to own that basically melted off at the track. So now that I've experienced how good these brakes are, I need to have way more confidence in them because these are insanely good brakes. I went to 2 different track days, and in those 2 track days, not once did I have an issue with brake fading, with the brake pads, you know, getting too overcooked and kind of crystallizing and not working well anymore. Not once, and I have plenty of pad left, which means that I really wasn't pushing it hard enough. So that goes to show you, these brakes are insanely good and is very well paired to the transmission and the engine. So the next thing I want to talk about is the steering feel. You guys have seen me on the track, you guys have seen me on the back roads, you guys have seen me drive on the highway even, and everywhere you go, this car is extremely well adapted to its surroundings. I think it has to do mostly with the fact that this has a variable ratio steering rack. And what that means is that depending on the speed of the car and what mode it's in, R mode, sport mode, or comfort mode, the ratio of the steering rack will change. It'll either give you more feel or less feel depending on what you need or what you want. So now we get to the bucket seats. Now I'm not sure why, but sometimes the manufacturers, they make a really good sports car and then they kind of overlook the seating position and the seats and how they hold in the driver when you're driving really spiritedly. Because when you're driving fast, you know, down a back road or at the track, you need something to kind of hug you in as you take those turns. So otherwise, you're holding onto the steering wheel and hanging on for dear life as you get thrown around in the non-bucket seat. These seats do an incredibly good job at holding you in pretty much at any speed in any corner. I've taken this obviously at the track, you see me there, and it was extremely comfortable, very, very good at holding me in. It did a really good job. So I'm going to show you exactly what makes a very good bucket seat. Let's take a close look. First, let's start out with how they look. I love that they're red. They just really stand out, and I really do like a red interior with a white exterior in a car. It's how my S2000 is spec'd out. If I were to buy a new BMW, let's say an M2 or something, it would be white outside, red on the inside. It's just the way I like it. I love the way it looks. So taking a closer look here, what makes a bucket seat a good seat? So these bolsters, they're not just padded, they're structural. So trying to push them, trying to pull them, it's not easy. You see the whole seat flexes, whole seat moves when you just move this part, and that means that it's connected to everything and it's all structural. That's how you know these bolsters mean business. They're gonna hold you in no matter what. Same with these bolsters down here. They're a little bit softer, I guess, for a little more comfort, but once you're in there, you are in there. So this right here is very, very tough, very hard to move. And one of the negatives is that when you're going in, when you're coming into the door, it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge to get over the hump. So you gotta go over the hump and then into the seat. And I have a fear that with the driver's seat, because you know you're going in and out a lot, this will be worn out after a while. We'll see how it holds up. But I'm glad that this seat is how it is, and it's just very, very good and holds you in. This is what makes a good seat. On top of that, you get this material here, this fabric, kind of a mesh that has high friction against the clothes that you're wearing. Another thing holding you in, and this is back here as well. And now, let's talk about the cargo space. Have it, all 4 wheels and a full track ready Type R. Let's take a closer look. So as you can see, we have all 4 wheels and tires. These are the stock wheels and tires. They are inside the Type R. We got the helmet, got a cooler full of stuff. There's a jack in there, there's a code reader, some snacks, anything you want. Got some camera gear and paperwork. Let's go around back here. And we've even got space, if we wanted, for a passenger or two. So, number 8, track durability, track readiness. I think the Civic Type R is probably one of the best track day cars you can buy for the money today. Well, one of the main reasons is because, one, you could just throw in anything you need, including your spare set of wheels, your tires, your new brake pads, brake fluids, snacks, a chair, your helmet, and even 2 passengers if you really want to. You can bring all of that in the hatch to the track, unloaded, get it ready for the track, run it on the track, put your spare set of wheels back on, and drive it home, and it won't be any issues at all. Now, with that said, yes, you can carry a lot of stuff, but I took this to 2 different track days without any spare parts at all, and it did phenomenally well. I was passing all kinds of cars, going really fast. Never once did it overheat. It gave me one little issue, and that was due to the low gas tank, so it was really my fault. And yeah, this thing is track ready and it's track durable. It'll last, and you can tell by the way that the brakes are after 2 different track days. They're perfectly fine. They probably had another 5,000 to 10,000 miles of life left into them, which is very impressive. These tires that are in the car right now, those are the ones I use at the track. They're pretty decent still. I could probably put them back on and do another track day if I really want to. So that goes to show you how well this car is set up and just how durable Honda made it to be. Yes, I have a couple of issues. I think it's because it was the early manufacturing process. Whenever you buy a first batch of any car, you're probably gonna have some issues here and there, and that's not a big deal. You know, I got the gear shift crunch, a couple of rattles here and there, but really no big deal, like I said. So that really sums it up, guys. Thanks for watching as always, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.